working my arm over here. This little tined one right here. Oh my, we call this the Destructinator. This is the lowest setting. So I'm watching these, you know, people underestimate how little extra water in the ocean it takes to cause problems. Not much. When we had these extreme events like we had in California, it's where people built was obviously not safe, and climate change over the years had altered their beaches and their beachfront properties to the point where, you know, you have to admit sooner or later that beachfront property isn't what it used to be. If you look at 2 to say, let's say 4 feet of water, let's say not Thwaites, but just 1/4 of Thwaites melts, there's a lot of property in Florida with these mansions that have the big boats parked out front and shit. Their homes will be level with the water out in the canals. That's why they're trying to buy up all the land inland. The gentrification that's going on is just ridiculous in Florida right now. But that's the land of sinkholes. A lot of property isn't worth shit because it's unsafe. That is the land of sinkholes, trust me. And I'm looking at all the damage that was done. Holy crap. I mean, no one was prepared for it. And it's not just in the United States, it's other places around the world where they're having these shore breaks that are doing damage that people just, it's obvious when you look at the infrastructure that you're like, well, how come they didn't have a seawall there? Well, they never needed one before. Just these little kind of things. Just the you know, the $50 million worth of damage that was done minimum is because people want to drive gas cars. Oil companies want to be trillionaires. That's why. It's just because there's rich people that want to be richer because they can't be fucking rich enough. And so that's why we have all this damage and all this shit happening right now. And it's just, this is just the beginning. This is just the fucking start. Here, watch this thing. Listen. It's kind of nice having a plug right over your ceiling. Yeah, man, fuck. You know, I always hate to say I told you so, but for the last 20 years, from the Laren Von Baron page to the Gamers page, I've been telling people, one day I'll be telling you that I told you so. And it's going to happen sooner than you think. So over the last 15 years, what I've observed is the inability for society to make the changes that need to be made. There's a segment that will, a large segment will, but there's this hardcore group that are like, well, we're going to ban electric vehicles in our state. We're going to phase them out by 2035 because we don't want to put the oil and coal industry in jeopardy. What? What in the fuck is wrong with a person that does that? See, that is, are you telling me he is either the dumbest motherfucker on the planet, okay, without a care in the world about the future of children that are growing up today, okay? He could give a shit about all of those billions of kids right now because he wants to protect the oil and the fucking gas industry. He literally said he wants to eliminate electric cars to protect the oil industry. What the fuck is wrong with people that do that? My God. And like I said, they're not counting all this methane in their models. So over the last 15 years, I've waited for like a storm just like this. That was going to be like, okay, the knock on the door. That's what this is. That's the knock on the door. You've altered your weather pattern enough where now you've made a difference. And we're just going to shift things around a little bit so we can try to shed all this heat. And Mother Nature doesn't give a shit where you live. She's going to want to balance out temperature as best she can. And, we're just going to be in the way. This is exactly what we asked for when we knew in the 40s and 50s that it was bad. It was verified by the oil companies themselves in the 60s. Dr. Keeling's survey pretty much put it to rest, and they spent trillions of dollars since then to keep pumping that shit out of the fucking ground, because once they get the hole in the ground, they're just pumping money. They could give a fuck about the carcinogenic problems caused by their product. They don't care. It's carcinogenic. It's carcinogenic to humans and the planet. I saw a beach in Bali, the picture of a beach in Bali that used to be really beautiful. It was a postcard of an actual shot of a guy on his anniversary. This was like 60 years ago or something. And what it looks like today, that it's just fucking a foot deep in garbage from the shoreline all the way up to where the fucking houses and trees start. Disgusting. Looks like a pigsty. Worse, all plastic. Mainly what I saw was clear plastic cups. That's what I saw. Clear plastic cups. Maybe that's what comes from having a tourist industry as a part of your economy. I don't know. Clear plastic cups. A lot of them. A lot of them. So, Mother Nature, man. It doesn't take much. Just a tiny little bit. You can have a very small amount of changes like arsenic to the human body. Isn't going to kill you until you get that dose one day that just does you off. And that's where the planet is at right now. It's like, okay, so I need to make some changes. And here you have a politician, a governor, saying that they want to eliminate the future for children. That's what he's saying. To protect the oil industry. My God. That's just disgustingly sick. Good to see Greta doing her work. She was put on this earth to do that. It's pretty damn obvious, right? This is what she volunteered to do, and I think she's doing quite a good job at it. Thank you. I don't think she needs anyone's help. People talk about her autism or whatever. You listen to what that guy said, and it's obvious who has a clean soul and who has a filthy, dirty soul. When you say something like that, and literally millions of people die every year caused by pollution. Either earth, water, and air. Every year. That you're responsible for that. On your last day when you die, everyone dies. There's a reason for an end to life, okay, that nature is designed in, just like our need to survive and our, all the other, procreate, all these things that are built into us, you know what I mean? So it is an end time, because it's necessary. It's part of the process. It's not about replacement. It's about advancement. We have the ability to contemplate our own existence. He will pay the price on the other side. No one escapes. You see someone like that, a person like that, could end up paying a very dire price on the other side. It's all self-inflicted too, by the way, with gladly accepted. Or he won't be able to move on. That's it. Staggering, really is. People are so shallow. That's the problem. As a world population, it seems that we're all screaming we want to change, But then there's this system in place that will suffer if we change. There's a system in place that won't be able to make as much money and have as much power if we change. Once you start down the road of better batteries and better solar panels and better capture of energy and better and more efficient, once you start down that path, okay, nobody's improved on gasoline in a long motherfucking time. But I can tell you right now that the technology that's going to move us forward will just advance and advance and advance and advance, just like the computer chip did, until one day, you know, you'll have just a very small solar panel and a small battery that could run your house. That's if we make it. When I look at the damage that was done on the coast, and I think, okay, so let's say another 10 years from now, are they going to be building there? No. See, that's done. That property value is now gone. That property value is gone. Someone has lost out. Real money, real property. And that's what's going to start happening all over the place. Not just, Bangladesh and places like that where the world doesn't look. No one's looking at the Pacific Islanders right now. They have to sandbag their doors. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. When that guy said that I want to phase out EVs to protect the oil and the gas industry. Those jobs and those, yeah, fuck you. We know exactly why you're saying that. See? And he's there. He's the representative. There's nothing we can do. He's bought and paid for. The system is in place. Done fucking deal. Don't you feel right now that there's two levels of justice? Don't you feel like that right now? That there's a layer of justice and legal, responsibility for us. And then once you get to a certain amount of money, it seems like there's a different kind of legal authority. If we did half the shit that half these motherfuckers did, we would be in prison for, 100 consecutives. It's unimaginable that a black businessman could cheat on his taxes for millions of dollars for a long period of time and then get caught and still be walking around playing golf on his golf courses. Guarantee you that. There is the rich, and then there's the almost rich, and then there's the poor. The almost rich, they could give a fuck about anything but getting to the top. That's what supports the ugly monster at the top, is all those middle management fuck-ups that want to be billionaires. They're just 100 millionaires, but they want to be billionaires. And they're willing to screw anybody they can to get there. And that's how you end up with clear plastic cups covering a beach in Bali.